Welcome back to Bray, County Wicklow, Garden of Ireland. This is the first of a series of YouTube videos on the history of Ireland. So this is number one. Ireland's recorded history begins in the year 3150 BC. It begins in a place called Newgrange, about 50 kilometres north of Dublin, near a town called Drogheda. In the year 3150 BC. Newgrange was built 600 years before the Great Pyramids at Giza in Egypt, 1,000 years before Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain in England. So, what was it? Well, like the pyramids of Egypt, Newgrange was a tomb. Like the pyramids of Egypt, which came after it, Newgrange was also a calendar. This tomb, we believe, took anything from 20 years to 60 years to build. And they got the big stones to construct the tomb. A tomb, of course, is a grave for dead people above the ground. In this case, the dead people were cremated or burnt, and their ashes were placed inside the tomb. The large, heavy stones to construct this extraordinary place, a UNESCO heritage site today, in my opinion, one of the wonders of the world. They got these stones from the mountains of Mourne in County Down, the north of Ireland. Put them into their boats, or basket boats, as they were called, and sailed down the coast of Ireland, up the River Boyne, and then rolled the stones to the top of the hill overlooking the river. We believe that they did not have the wheel, like the Egyptians after them. We believe that they used logs or felled trees, the trunk of a tree. So they would put the stones on logs and somehow get them laboriously to the top of the elevation or the hill. And then they would put one stone on top of the other. When all the stones were in place, they decided to cover the whole building in shining white, so that you could see it from miles and miles and miles away, from miles away. And it must have looked like the moon from a distance, particularly on a moonlit night. So, what kind of material did they use to cover the tomb. They used quartz, a beautiful white stone, quarried here in County Wicklow, in the Wicklow Mountains. Put the quartz into their boats, sailed up along the coast, all the way up to the River Boyne, down the River Boyne, and rolled the quartz, or carried the quartz, laboriously uphill to cover the walls of Newgrange. Newgrange comprises some 200,000 tons of heavy stone from the mountains of Mourne in the north of Ireland. When it was built, the roofing, you can see this from inside when you look up, is in this shape, what we call corbelled roofing. As well as that, they would cut channels on the stone, on the roof of the building, to allow rainwater to drain off from the tomb. Today, the tomb is as dry as it was on the day that it was built, almost 5,000 years ago. It's as dry as a bone inside. A remarkable achievement, particularly in a country like Ireland. Access to the inside of the tomb is by way of a passage, a very narrow passage, about maybe 1 meter wide. On each side of the passage, as you walk into the tomb, you will see mysterious signs and symbols carved on the stones. Symbols like this. Or this. A chevron, as we call it. Or even this. The famous life circle. What we understand to be a symbol of the cycle of life